Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It's February 9th, 2026. Great to be with all of you today. My name is Bob Lang, and it's time for our Daily Bites. Bring these to you every Monday and Thursday morning, roughly around 8:30, 8:45 Eastern Time. It's about 8:45 right now, about 45 minutes before the market is ready to open. Let's get going, everybody. So if you had a chance to listen to me about 45 minutes ago, I was on the Schwab Network. If you want to watch a replay of that, should be up there on their website, schwabnetwork.com, very, very shortly. And listen to my interview with Diane King Hall. Diane's great. So we talked a little bit about markets, a little bit about crypto, the economy, earnings, and the move in the Dow Industrial. So let's take a look at that. So on Friday, huge milestone on Friday, right? So the Dow Industrials, you can see, popped right through the 50,000 mark and closed well above it, 50,100. And this morning we're down about 55 handles. So even if we open up lower this morning where we were at right now, the industrials will still be over 55,000. Let's take a look at this chart here as well. So you can see the Dow Industrials formed a nice, has been forming nice cup and handle patterns, right, as we go along here, and nice cup and handle pattern as well. And I think there's going to be probably another one that gets created up here. But what's also very impressive is as the whole month of January, we noticed that the index, the Dow Industrials, was kind of we're making lower highs but higher lows, all the way out to Friday's big surge up, right? And you see, as the range here was narrowing, the market needed to do one thing. It was going to break out to the upside or the downside. Now, how would we know which direction it's going to go into? Well, oftentimes the breakout occurs in the direction of the prior pattern, right? The prior trend. So you can see clearly the trend is up, right? So the odds were going to favor that breakout is going to happen to the upside, unless there was some disaster that we heard about, something was going on, maybe with the economy, or some thing that caused the volatility index to continue rising as it did on Thursday. But we didn't have that, right? And so you have to step back and look at the overall chart pattern and figure that these things play out over and over and over again, repeat themselves over and over and over again. So higher highs, higher lows, and then a breakout is going to occur in the direction of the prior trend. The prior trend is up. So you have to, play the odds that the market is going to break out to the ups. Play the odds, play the highest probabilities that you possibly can. We're not talking about guarantees here. We're talking about probabilities here, the highest probability. Okay. So S&P futures down about 11 handles right now, pulling off from that huge move up on Friday. NASDAQ down about 69 points. And again, the Dow also down about 69 as well, too. So we'll see a little bit of softness at the open. We'll see what the breath looks like in the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, and kind of get a determination of where we think the market is going to go during the day. It's a big week for economic data and earnings, right? So economic data, let's take a look at it. We have a lot of Fed speak today. No economic data coming out on Monday, today, the 9th, but we do have Stephen Marin talking. We have Chris Waller already spoke this morning. He's going to be speaking a little bit later on this afternoon as well, too. Tomorrow we'll have Beth Hammack, Cleveland Fed president, and also Lori Logan from Dallas. A lot of economic data that I like to look at. Employment cost index, U.S. retail sales will be coming out tomorrow morning before the open. And then that jobs report, which was supposed to be out on Friday for January, will be out on Wednesday morning before the open, along with the Kansas City Fed president, who's going to be giving us some comments as well, too. Jobless claims Thursday, and then Friday, CPI for January will be coming out before the open, too. So a lot of interesting stuff coming up here. We'll also have quite a bit of earnings data to be coming out. Earnings reports are going to be coming out here. So I'll come up with my earnings whisper here, and you can see, we'll bring up the calendar. And you can see a lot of these names real familiar. Cisco will be coming out Wednesday after the close. Shopify, Vertiv, Unity, Humana, all before the open on Wednesday. Later tonight, we'll hear from onsemi, Open Door, Silver Corp, which should probably be posting some really strong earnings, Goodyear. And then tomorrow morning, so the big names, Coca-Cola, Dow Industrial names, CVS, Spotify, Datadog, Oscar Healthcare. One name that I have stock in, Ferrari, Race, Marriott will be coming out, Robinhood after the close tomorrow, Ford, Lyft, Upstart, Gilead, Net, symbol Net, which is Cloudflare, and we have a lot of other big names coming out, McDonald's soon early in the morning on Wednesday, Coinbase later on in the week, along with Arista Networks, Crocs, and Advanced Auto Parts. So lots of big names coming out here. We're starting to move into phase 3 of earnings season, and that means we'll see a lot more retail names. Next week, we'll be hearing from Home Depot, Walmart, Lowe's, and Target, among others, and a lot more retail names coming out next week. A lot of energy names coming out as well, too, over the next couple of weeks. So that was, we would call that phase 3 of earnings season. Not that important in terms of the NASDAQ, but far more important in terms of industrials right now, and retail are going to be having these names are going to have a huge factor in the markets as well. So what are we looking for? So obviously with the Dow Industrials having that big breakout, we're seeing also good strength in the Russell 2000 IWM. Let's take a look at that index as well too. Big strong day, not quite to an all-time high, which we hit an all-time high at the towards the right before Christmas I'm sorry, just before Christmas. We did hit one in December, but in January, late January, right before we hit that ugly doji, and then we had an evening star pattern. Now, what is an evening star pattern? That's a green bar followed by a doji, followed by a red bar, and then you get confirmation to the downside. So we had that one right over here. So we came down, tested that 50-day moving average perfectly on Thursday, and then rallied back on Friday. We'll see if we get some follow through on this. So of course, this morning with the weakness, we are seeing a little bit of tiny bit of weakness. Well, actually, not too much in the Russell 2000 right now. We'd like to see a higher high and a higher low in that index to make sure that we can get some confirmation for this move here from Friday. We did close higher than Wednesday's close, which is an important marker over here, and you can see that right here. See Wednesday's open and close much higher here on Friday than it was on that day, and of course on Thursday as well too. So I like the market here if we can move up a little bit higher in the next day or two. Doesn't have to be today. It'd be great if it was today. Confirmation could get confirmation tomorrow. I think it's going to be a place where you can put more money to work here and buy some of the dips. I did talk a little bit about that with Diane. Pay attention to what's happening in the crypto markets, right? I don't necessarily think you have to buy into the cryptos right here. I mean, if you are buying this dip over here, that's extraordinary. But what you need to pay attention to is this strong correlation between what is happening with Bitcoin and crypto and the rest of the markets, especially software stocks. Take a look at this IGV. You can almost overlay Bitcoin on top of this thing, and they're almost look identical, right? There's very, very strong correlation. So, as I said with Diane this morning, if you wanted to blame Bitcoin for the weakness in software, it's valid, right? It's one, causes it's causation here, right? So, the software stocks have been falling because of the weakness in Bitcoin. Maybe it's vice versa. I don't know. I think that Bitcoin is more of a leader than a laggard. It tends to lead the rest of the markets and other stocks rather than following it. So we'll see what happens a little bit later on. Maybe did the software stocks bottom here on Friday? I don't know. We got to pay attention and watch what's going on. This thing's got to go sideways for about a good 6 weeks, maybe even 2 months. And it's going to bore the hell out of everybody, right? And it's going to be boring to see Microsoft go sideways. It's going to be boring to see Salesforce and Workday and Datadog and ServiceNow, all these stocks going sideways for a while. And that's what you need to build a base, right? You don't just come off of here and bounce and then keep bouncing up and down like this. for a long period of time. You need to make sure that low is in. Maybe that 80 level is good. We don't know, right? Maybe it's not good. We don't know that either. So pay attention to this. This is an important sector, important group in technology, or the software names. They make a lot of money, and a lot of investors are in these names here as well. AI names, we'll see if they continue to run up over here. I took some opportunities on Friday to add some Alphabet and some Meta. We did that in the chat room, and I think buying those on those pullbacks was the right move. So if they're down a little bit this morning, you might want to take a look at those two names as well too. So I think it's going to be it, folks. Have a great day. Have a wonderful midweek here. We will be back on Thursday. Don't forget, next Monday is a holiday. We won't be here for the Daily Bites. It's President's Day weekend next weekend, and we often see. Don't forget, we often see volatility recede into a 3-day holiday weekend. So even if volatility comes down, we may see it come down even further as well too. We see the VIX up a little bit this morning. It's up about 80 cents, up to 1850. We may see that pullback later on in the week. May not be today, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, or maybe even Thursday, but we may see that the VIX pulling back into the low to mid-teens by the end of the week. All right. Have a great day, everyone. I appreciate all of you spending a little bit of time with me, and I'll see you guys all back on Thursday morning. We'll talk a little bit about the economic data and all about earnings as well too, and see if we can find a couple of trade ideas as well too. Take care. Have a great trading rest of the week, and I'll see you guys all Thursday morning. Take care. Bye. You back where you belong.